It is a beautiful, beautiful morning here in central Indiana. My garden is located in zone 5. I'm actually right at the border of 6 and 5, but just to be safe, I consider myself zone 5. The mornings here in Indiana are starting to go back to normal. We have been getting some crazy, crazy temperatures here, you guys, like 90 plus degrees during the day, and it's crazy. My plants definitely have been trying to get normalized to the outside. We haven't even been outside a month. Like the plants haven't been outside for a month yet. But things are looking good. Things are looking amazing. My tomatoes, which is like the most important vegetable in my garden, they're doing amazing. So I'm excited about that. But it seems that this week we're finally going back to the mid 80s, which is pretty normal for this time of the year. So I'm happy about that because hopefully my tomatoes get to set more fruit. Everything is starting to, just kind of breathe and get normalized. But I have been working really, really hard for the last almost 2 months on putting everything that I have, all of my flower beds, my raised beds, containers, little corners here and there, on an irrigation system. And I show you a couple of videos how I did my raised beds. I'm pretty much trying to keep it as simple as possible. But when it comes to irrigation, really, is there anything simpler? If there is one tip that I can give you, if you are installing irrigation system in your garden, is buy extra of everything. Every connection, tubing, accessories, whatever it is that you're using, buy extra, because that will save you a few trips to the store and it will save you a few headaches as well. So this morning I made, once again, another trip to Lowe's because I ran out of some fittings. And anyway, hopefully today I get to finish, or at least somewhat finish, one side of my house, the stepping stone, which I have right here, on irrigation. And I'm gonna see everything, how it looks like finally, before I put the mulch down. I have been collecting mulch back there already, and I really, really need to spread it, but I just wanna make sure that my irrigation is set before I do that. By the way, you guys, let me show you the Bathsheva that I got in Beirut a few weeks ago. Look how much growth has been putting. Isn't this amazing? I know that I show you the Bathsheva that I have going on my trellis on the garage. That one I purchased already huge. It was actually like this big and already had buds showing. That's why it bloomed really early. But this guy, I got it as a bare root and I put it here just with a little bit of potting soil, and it is doing gorgeous. I mean, I just love this thing. I am going to keep it in a container. Oops. One that I can move in my garage during the winter. Just don't know if this container is big enough. I think this is a 5-gallon container, but I think that it definitely needs something a little bit bigger. So I am going to see if I can find like a cute container locally, something that it's not too heavy, because I need to move it. I need to move it into the garage easily by myself. So something that is not super heavy will do, but I am excited. I think that I might get some blooms, you guys. I can't remember if I did get blooms with my other David Austins when I got him as bare root, but look at this. This is beautiful. And it has been here on the east side of the house. I'm standing on the east side of the house. So I think that he really likes it here. So when I have a container where it's going to go permanently, I am going to put it somewhere here, anywhere where I can fit it. But the reason for this video is to show you how my garden is set up with irrigation. I'm not going to show you exactly what I use because I did a video on that, but I want to kind of break it down how I am using my zones, because I have had a lot of questions from you guys wondering, do you have everything in one zone? Do you just turn the button on and the whole garden gets water, or how does that work? So for you guys that are doing this for the first time, hopefully this video helps you a little bit. I am not a professional in installing irrigation systems, but I did watch a lot of videos from professionals that do this. So I kind of pick a thing or two from those and I made it my own basically. And that's what you're going to do, because your garden is not the same as mine. So hopefully by showing you how I did this in my garden can give you an idea of maybe something that you can do in your own. So let's start. I am going to do my best with the help of Google to show you my entire garden with the irrigation system. I'm not going to show you each bed because you kind of have an idea if you have been here watching my past videos and garden tours. You kind of have an idea of where everything is located so that you can understand how I divided my garden in zones. Right now I am standing on my stepping stone path, my garden path, and this is located on the east side of the house. I have two connections for water, one on the east side, which is where I'm standing right now, and the other one is on the west side of the house. So only two connections to water. And I use those connections to either attach hoses to get the water where I need it, or to do my irrigation completely from there. And I'm going to show you that in a minute. But this bed, this stepping stone garden bed, is in one zone completely. Where the water comes from on the east side of the house, I basically split it in three ways. One is just a regular hose that takes the water all the way to my kitchen garden. I'll show you that in a minute. And 2 and 3 is for my two different types of zones that I have here on the east side. This right here, my stepping stone bed, serves this bed, and the other zone basically serves the front of the house, the front east side of the house. I don't normally show the front of the house, so you don't have to worry about that. But basically, this side of the house, the east front side of the house, is covered with irrigation, which today, hopefully I get to finish this. Now, if you're just starting with irrigation systems, it doesn't really have to get super complicated. Could I have one zone completely to cover my stepping stone, the front of the house, and whatever containers I have all going on this side of the house? Yes, I could totally do that. And as I mentioned, my garden is not that big, so I am very comfortable that I will be able to have enough water pressure to cover all of this side of the house with no problems. But I just want to break it down so that I am safe, just in case later on I want to add more containers or add more areas to my flower beds. I have plenty of space to work with the irrigation system that I already have. I literally switched the camera where I was, and I am standing where the camera was. So basically, the water hose that I get from my east side of the house, I take it all the way over here, and that one basically feeds my hose reel, and then it serves my kitchen garden on the back. And using hoses to bring the water where you need it, it's a very, very simple and not super expensive thing to do. I know that a lot of you complain that, oh, I can't have irrigation because I don't have water access to, the back of the house or to the other side of the house. You can undo those hoses at the end of the season if you need it. It's very, very easy and convenient, in my opinion, to use garden hoses to get the water where you need it. In this case, that garden hose that comes from the house on the east side gets over here, and from here is going to get my other zones that I have from my kitchen garden, but it also feeds my hose reel, which I have on 24/7. Basically, the whole time that it's out here, it has water so that whenever I need it, it's available. And from here, I am going to have two zones that get my kitchen garden. Now, again, I could have my whole kitchen garden, raised beds, metal beds, containers in one zone, and they will be fine. But I just don't want to risk it, because if later on I want to add more beds or I want to add more metal beds, then I can just be comfortable with the irrigation system that I have. The zones that I have for my kitchen garden are two. Basically, all of my raised beds that are made with wood are in one zone. That will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A total of 6 raised beds that I have in one zone. And that's how I title it on my app, wood raised beds. And everything that I have growing in those raised beds are in one zone. The other zone that I have here are my green stocks right here, which I already have the setup, the watering setup that they sell. And if you didn't know that they have a watering system now for your green stocks, I'm going to link those below and you can check it out for yourself. So my green stocks and my corten steel beds that I have next to the garage are also in this zone. So green stocks and corten metal beds are in one zone. Again, later on, if I decide to add more stuff to it, whether if I want to add more metal beds or I want to get a bunch more of green stacks, then I can just add those to this zone, and I have plenty of room to work with. So from one access to water on the east side of the house, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 zones, and I have a hose reel that it gets water the whole time. Like I said, if you are new to irrigation systems, and if you want to do this by yourself, my advice for you will be to just watch a lot of videos of other people doing this in their own gardens, whether they're doing vegetables or just flowers. Watch how people are doing it, and then just kind of get a feel for how things work and decide what you want to do for yourself. Now I am standing on the west side of the house. I already showed you the east, and I'm going to show you the west. Basically, I have my no-dig flower bed here, then I have my hydrangea hedge, then we just take a walk and we end up all the way to where the kitchen garden is. If you guys are wondering what the front of the house looks like, it's not pretty. We live in a fixer-upper. I don't show it. Do I have plants in the front? Absolutely. Do I have containers in the front? Yes. And all of those are also on irrigation, but I'm not going to show you that today, but I just want to give an idea of how everything is working here. So I have water access here on the west side, and that is basically going to be feeding my hose reel. It's going to water the front of the house, and it's going to water a huge part of the back of the house as well. Let me show you how that works. I have one water connection that is basically split in 3 ways. One of those ways comes right about here. In a video a long time ago, I show you how I dug a little trench here to basically just move the water from that side to this side. And it's just a regular hose. I think it's a 10-foot long hose that it's buried down in the ground. And it takes the water over here, and that one is going to be feeding my hose reel, and it's also going to be splitting in 2 zones. One towards the front of the house, that will be zone 1, basically covers everything that I have growing in the front, containers. The front west of the house, because remember, I already showed you the front east of the house. So the front west of the house, it's already covered by 1 zone. I don't have to worry about that. And the other zone in the back is basically covering this wall that I have here with my cattle panels and wood built. And it also covers my huge planters, and it covers my water fountain area, and it also covers all of the containers that I have in front of the garage. And that is probably the biggest zone that I have. And I am, like I said, I am comfortable. I check everything how it's supposed to be. I check all of the requirements as far as measurements go, and the water pressure it's good. And I don't really have to worry about watering all of this area over here because it's already on irrigation, and the watering it's going really well so far. From basically just one water access here that I extended using a garden hose, I have one zone that it covers all of the front and all of the back. Now this bed right here is my no-dig flower bed, and I show you guys how I did that on other videos as well. And I do have one system right here, which is a very small zone. This is probably the smallest zone that I have, is just this bed because it's kind of weird. Again, the zone that is covering the front west side of the house, I could have added this to it, but it was just easier to do it this way. Everything that I have is on an app. So basically I have 4 Wi-Fi timers. I have 3 that are doubles, and I have 1 that is single, which is the one that covers my no-dig flower bed. I started using these Wi-Fi timers because I really like how the setup is. They have an app, they're on Wi-Fi, I can control them really anywhere where I am, and that for me is very convenient. But also they have a manual button that I can set it up to, you know, water my plants, depending where I have that irrigation system. I can set them up to water them for 10, 20, 40, 50 minutes if I want to. And I like that. I like to have those options. If I don't have my phone with me, I can just easily come outside and push a button and my garden gets the water that I need. I have everything on an app. I don't have them to go on automatically, but I control them manually. And it's nice. And you guys, this is the first year that I have my irrigation system set up, and I am loving it. the amount of time that it saves me to water my garden is astronomical. I mean, I don't know what it took me so long, honestly, to install all of this. It has been a learning curve because, like I said, I'm new to this. I am not a professional, so some things I am learning as I do them, and that's pretty much how gardening is, really, and irrigation is no exception. So as far as watering goes, I have a total of 7 zones and 2 hose reels that basically serve each side of the house. And I think that right now that is very, very comfortable for me. I still have a couple of containers that I don't have an irrigation system yet because, again, I ran out of tubing, so I had to wait and get the right stuff. If I was to leave today, if I was to go on vacation for 2 weeks, I would be very comfortable that my garden will be taken care of without having to hire anyone, without having to ask my neighbors or, somebody's kid to come and water everything, and hopefully, make sure that everything was getting plenty of water. This has been a huge, huge undertaking for my garden this year. It was a goal that I have to just get the irrigation system set up and easy and comfortable and convenient. I am very, very happy with what I have right now. Now, I don't know how everything is going to be working here in the next couple of years, but I'll try to do an update or two on how everything is working. And like I say, right now, it's working wonders for me. I hope that this video was helpful. Thank you for being here, you guys, and until the next time.